Why do we celebrate the anniversary of an assassination? 15 years ago, in the middle of a plague that nearly destroyed Dunwall, a paid killer assaulted the palace where I was born and stabbed my mother in the heart. In the aftermath, the men who sent the assassin tried to use me as a pawn in a game of power. They would have succeeded, but my father, Corvo, hunted them down and cut their conspiracy to pieces. All these years later, am I the ruler my mother wanted me to be? Now, we face a new crisis. A monster the papers are calling the Crown Killer has been picking off my enemies and dressing it up like my father and I are responsible. I don't know whether to get on a ship and sail to the opposite side of the world, or to have everyone around me executed.
Watch your step, Majesty.
I'm not looking forward to all the ceremony today.
Your signet ring. There, you're ready.
Thank you, Alexei. Open the doors.
All hail Her Imperial Majesty, Emily Kaldwin.
Loyal subjects, we're going through a difficult time, but today we honor my mother, the late Jessamine Kaldwin. May her memory survive through the ages.
Emily.
You look tired, Father.
Every year, I think the anniversary of Jessamine's death will be easier, but it never is.
I wish Mother was still the Empress. I don't think I'm very good at this.
You're still learning. Don't worry about the rabble-rousers, and we'll catch the Crown Killer, eventually.
People are saying it's you. That these assassinations are a misguided effort to protect me.
No. Someone's trying to make us look guilty by targeting your enemies.
I wish I could just run away from all this.
Sometimes you do. You think I don't know about your nights out on the rooftops? Courage. The ceremony will be over soon.
Royal Protector and Father. I should have passed a law against that combination of titles years ago.
Your Majesty, before we begin the day's observances, we have an unexpected visitor, the Duke of Serkonos.
Ramsay says the Duke is bringing special gifts.
That's intriguing.
His Grace Luca Abel, Duke of Serkonos!
Mechanical soldiers? Amazing.
What is this, Ramsay? I didn't authorize those things.
Your Imperial Majesty and Royal Protector Corvo, a native of our homeland. Serkonos offers condolences on this sorrowful day, and gifts to remind you of our nation, the rising star on the southern horizon.
We thank you, Your Grace.
Save your thanks. For now, I give you the greatest gift of all, family. I present the lost sister of Jessamine Kaldwin, your rightful Empress, Delilah Kaldwin.
Impossible.
My mother had a sister?
My dearest niece, hello.
It's not true.
My father was Emperor Yuhorn Jacob Kaldwin, and Jessamine was my younger sister. At the time of her death, I wasn't ready to make myself known to you, and I was forced to leave Dunwall. But now I'm home.
If you really are my mother's sister, you're welcome to stay as long as you like.
Little sparrow, blackened by bad memories, I'm here to relieve you of your crown. My father's promise, whispered in secret so many years ago, is now fulfilled.
Watch your tongue. Emily Kaldwin is the daughter of Empress Jessamine Kaldwin.
Royal Protector, how naive to think you could get away with these murders. Living in my palace has protected you, but that's over. Hear me, all of you. Your rightful Empress has returned.
All hail the Empress Delilah, first of her name. Arrest Emily Kaldwin and her father for the Crown Killer murder.
What?
Sword can't still my heart. You in cold marble. No! Sweet girl, over time you will come to love me. Perhaps someday you'll see me as the mother you lost. But until then, you'll be kept out of trouble.
I'll lock Lady Emily in her chambers, then I'll bring her to Coldstream Prison until her trial. My father lost it all when I was a boy, so now I wear this uniform, and I send 20-year-olds out to patrol the rose gardens instead of drinking with the men from the shooting club.
Captain Ramsey, I heard shouting. Lady Emily, what happened?
I'll be all Captain Mayhew.
No!
That's the Royal Protector's fancy weapon. What kind of sword folds in half? There's a legend in the Tower Guard about the Empress's last resort, a safe room inside your chambers holding enough gold to buy a good-sized island. They say that this ring is one of the only 2 keys to exist.
What happened? Alexei. The throne room. Father! Nothing I can do alone. I need to get out of here. I used to hide frogs in this old grandfather clock to drive the housekeepers mad. I thought life was complicated back then. Should I just spin it and pick a place to hide for a while? I need time to think. These bastards are working with Ramsey and the Duke of Serkonos. How many times have I looked at that skyline? It feels like everything just changed. Delilah is some sort of witch. How is this possible?
Lady Emily, you're all right. Where's the Royal Protector?
There's a coup underway. My father is... he's imprisoned, for lack of a better word.
You've got to get out of the tower. Through your safe room. There was a captain earlier today, down at the docks. Looking for the Royal Protector. Find her. Get out of Dunwall.
Alexei, I'm sorry. Goodbye. I need my signet ring. This won't open without my ring. Ramsey has it. No time for that now.
Emily, I know times are hard. You're the ruler of 4 nations, and I won't pretend to understand the pressure you're under. Only you, and your mother before you, could know what that's like. Whoever's killing off your enemies is doing so for calculated effect, undermining us. I do know what it's like to be blamed for murders you didn't commit. But trust me, we'll find this crown killer, and they'll pay. Tomorrow is the anniversary of her death. A sad day for sure. But I want you to remember all that's happened over the last 15 years. You've held on to the throne, and you've done what you thought was right for the people of the Empire. You drained the flooded district, kept the gangs in check, and yesterday we launched a magnificent ship bearing Jessamine's name. You're becoming the sovereign your mother wanted you to be, and I'm proud of you.
This reminds me of good times with friends, with Wyman. All gone now.
With the throne room blocked off, we should have the time we need. Just stay here and stall anyone who comes by. I'll be back when I've searched the royal chambers, assuming I don't accidentally lock myself in this damn safe room.
We'll cover for you if anyone from the Duke's party returns. This is exciting. Everything's changing.
Yes, the natural order is reasserting itself. The Ramseys once hosted the King and Queen of Morley. Did you know that? I spent my childhood playing with the Buntings and the Boyles, the cream of society.
Then very soon you'll be back at the top, Captain.
Ramsay's family fell from the aristocracy, and apparently the man holds a grudge. How it's my fault, that's beyond me. But one way or another, Ramsay is too dangerous to be left in play.
Clever. Maybe designed by Sokolov. Emily's ring, the seal of the Empress.
I spent so many nights in here after the rat plague. You deserve that, Ramsay. This won't leave my hand again. The Crown Killer must be connected to all this, with the Duke and Delilah. I have a feeling I'll need these. The reserves won't help against Delilah, even if I had a way to carry it all out of here. Anton Sokolov made this lock. Until I understand this, I have to go into hiding. I should make my way to the docks. I've got to get out of Dunwall. Somehow Delilah turned my father to stone. I will find a way to undo it. Traitorous dog. I need to find a ship. The city is crawling with the Duke's men.
Listen up, I have bad news. Ramsay's dead. Corporal Moore checked the royal quarters, and Emily Kaldwin has apparently fled the scene. We've got to find her. That's it. We've got your orders. Spread out and find the fugitive. We're in this with the Duke of Serkino, sink or swim. There's no way to turn back now. The former Empress Emily Kaldwin has been accused of high crimes against the state. Anyone caught harboring her is equally guilty of treason.
Know all my letters and then
Attention
some.
Dunwall citizens. As of today, Delilah Kaldwin is our new Empress. All hail Delilah, first of her name.
Further, the former Empress Emily Kaldwin is now wanted for treason. Any of you found harboring Emily Kaldwin will be fined and arrested.
People of Dunwall, stay in your homes. You're advised to stay indoors during this time of unrest.
Kiela, sorry you missed us. I'll be taking the children away from Dunwall earlier than expected. A few weeks before the upcoming anniversary of Empress Jessamine's death. Things are about to get bad, and I'm not just talking about the Crown Killer. Besides, there's profit to be made bringing new silver miners down south. So arrangements must be made. Ta for now.
Citizens of Dunwall, listen up. For the sake of your family, turn over all information concerning Emily Kaldwin and Corvo Atano, wanted for murder and treason.
Something's happened, they say. Not safe, they say. Well, I got news for them. It ain't never safe for the likes of me. What do you... I missed the time when I could go to sleep without wondering if I'd wake up. I can't do anything for you. You'd better run.
You're not fit for the Watch uniform.
Come. That man, part of the Duke's coup, I'm sure of it now. And I saw him talking to Captain Ramsey of the City Watch.
You weren't the only one fooled. But I never ordered those killings.
I know that. It was irresponsible of me to print the name Crown Killer. I allowed myself to be coerced. Forgive me.
You're forgiven. I'm not sure what happens next, but protect yourself. And when the time is right, tell people the truth.
You can count on it. I won't ask you what your plans are, but for the sake of Dunwall and for the Empire itself, I hope you succeed.
Oh, this is a terrible assignment. Who wants to keep watch over a place where someone was just gutted, even if it was an ass like Ichabod Boyle?
Huh? What was that? Sounded like broken
Probably
glass.
nothing, but...
What's going on here?
All right, let me take a look around.
Huh?
Is that... Ichabod Boyle. Another victim of the Crown Killer just days ago in Dunwall.
Lord.
Just one time.
So it's a coup. Kaldwins have finally fallen. Never thought I'd see the day.
It seems so. And even the legendary Corvo Atano couldn't stop it.
There's money to be made on this, mark my words.
You seem chuffed and happy. What if it all goes to pieces? Sometimes these things end with people like us face down on an executioner's block.
I'll be fine, I assure you. My grandmother turned a profit on the plague, and I'll come out ahead under the Duke of Serkonos and our new Empress. My family and I moved here 3 years ago. Biggest mistake we ever made. 100 times I thought about leaving this place.
You have to understand. I'm going to call for help if you don't go. I doubt I can help you, whatever you want.
Gotta get away. I should talk to the captain of that ship.
What am I going to do? Something's going on at Dunwall Tower all across this cursed city. Where are you, Corvo Atano? Do I still have it left in me? Lady, you want to hear what I've got to say. I guarantee it. Lady Emily, you won't get far with that face. Stamped on half the coins in the city.
There's a coup underway, and I'm being blamed for the Crown Killer murders. I don't care what my face looks like.
My name's Megan Foster. I work with an old ally of yours, Anton Sokolov. We learned something scary down in the south. And I came to warn you.
I know, Anton. But Corvo's gone. The Duke of Serkonos is here with a woman named Delilah. They massacred everyone in the throne room. Then she did something I can't explain. There was nothing to do but run.
Sometimes that's all you can do. This is my ship, the Dreadful Whale. We can head out as soon as you're ready.
I need to get to Karnaca where the Crown Killer murders started. Delilah must have been down there for a while, and I've got to figure out what's going on.
You're Corvo's daughter. I'll give you that. Should we go?
Yes, I'm ready. Am I still aboard Megan's ship? Feels odd. What is this place? Where am I? I can feel something moving closer. What?
Empress Emily Kaldwin. I'm a friend of your father's from the bad old days. I never expected us to meet. I watched your mother die at the hands of schemers who wanted your little empire. Then you were rescued by a killer in a strange mask. I thought that was the end of the excitement. But Delilah and the Duke are flies in the ointment, aren't they? How many of your own subjects are you ready to slaughter? And what are you willing to become? 15 years ago, I asked Corvo that last question. This is the moment that changed him. Now it's your turn, Emily.
It burns from the inside. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of something. All the stories, they're true. Incredible. This is how I'm going to save my father and reclaim the throne. What is that? It feels familiar.
I know you. Do you remember? It's been so long, and you've been through so much. Even as an echo of myself, it's good to know you're there.
Mother? You're here, but you're not here. In my hand, but somewhere else.
Only the last of my essence, with you for a while. If only I could reach across this great expanse and take you into my arms. But I have this to offer. My gift and my curse. Summon me to your hand, and I will guide you when I can. Stars in the sky here. There isn't a sky. Place.
Who is Delilah really? How could she? I don't understand.
Delilah slit a man's throat for a pair of shoes and painted some of the most brilliant portraits of the age, all in the same year. Survival and ambition, art and magic, with a cunning that makes sycophants of those around her. All of it leading to what you saw at Dunwall Tower. Delilah's playing the long game, and now she's an Empress. But I'll let you in on a secret. She's got her eyes set on a much greater prize.
When I was 10 years old, bored with my lessons, I dreamed about sword fighting and sailing the ocean. Now I'm realizing that the world is more off-kilter than I imagined. Everything has been turned inside out, but I'm not gonna stop fighting until it makes sense again. Karnaca's the southernmost port in the Empire, once proud but fallen into disarray. Under the new Duke, the Grand Serkonan Guard has gotten increasingly oppressive. Beatings and firing squads. The Bloodflies are said to be worse than ever. This is the birthplace of my father. Megan Foster keeps to herself, like she's hiding something. But she helped me escape Dunwall, and for now, I need a place to stay out of sight. Delilah and the Duke made me look like a murderer, using the Crown Killer to butcher my political adversaries. They took what was mine, and I'm gonna get it back, even if I have to burn this city to the ground.
Must be cursed. Daft old man, this is some shit. Back to that city. What would we have done in the old days? All You're up. When you're ready to talk, I'll tell you what I know.
All right, you've explained part of it. But what were you and Sokolov doing here?
The old man loved Karnaca, but he'd caught wind of a conspiracy tied to the Crown Killer. He wanted to warn Corvo.
There were reports about tensions rising, corruption, street violence. I didn't give it much mind. Usually the local authorities resolve that sort of thing.
The new Duke has let things slide. But Sokolov concluded he might be the head of the conspiracy. He came in looking shocked, and if you've heard his after-dinner stories, you know that's unusual. We were going to set out for Dunwall, but something happened.
The Crown Killer.
Yes, the hatch ripped open and Sokolov screamed. All I caught was a glimpse of someone carrying him across the deck. I followed as long as I could, toward Addermeyer Institute. It's run by the alchemist Hypatia. Maybe the Duke is using a patient of hers. The Crown Killer.
Addermeyer. All right. I'll get inside. The Crown Killer has to be eliminated, and if the alchemist will cooperate, maybe I can learn something about what happened to Sokolov. Wish me luck.
If you need my luck, Sokolov's as good as dead. When you get done at the Institute, disable the watchtower. Once it's down, I'll bring the boat around. We'll take the skiff to the shore when you're ready.
Somewhere near they hold hands. They drink poison together. This old couple. A banker tricked them out of their home.
I'll always miss my lessons with Anton Sokolov. He made so many clever devices during my mother's time.
Dearest Emily, or must I say, Your Imperial Majesty, I have something that you and Corvo must hear at the first opportunity. It can concerns the murders happening across the Empire committed by this so-called Crown Killer. When I left Crystal years ago, I swore I'd never again take part in any further political matters. I've done my share of bad things, and some good, before and after the Rat Plague. But here in Karnaca, I've uncovered a terrible conspiracy against you. Here, at the bottom of the Empire, the cobblestones smell of death and corruption. I'm staying with an associate, Megan Foster, aboard her vessel, the Dreadful Whale. We'll leave for Dunwall in the morning, as soon as the tides are willing. I keep thinking of the way sweet Jessamine was stolen from you and your father, and I fear it might be your turn to face such turmoil. I know Corvo would protect you with his life, but please do not trust anyone.
There you are, old man. I was asked to pay you a visit.
Wait, what's wrong with you? Megan!
Off we go, Sokolov, to somewhere more private.
Ready for me to drop you at the docks?
Let's go see the streets where my father grew up.
Off we go then.
It won't do to be recognized.
I'd take you to Adamire by boat, but security's too tight. The Grand Guard have a watchtower there. Go inland and use the carriage station. Before his death, the old Duke of Serkonos spent decades building up Karnaca. After Duke Luca Abel took over, he started draining the wealth out of the city as fast as he could. Orgies and week-long feasts.
Having more fun here than we were in Dunwall, it seems.
Watch yourself on the way to Adamire. The Duke's given the Grand Guard run of the city. Strangers get attacked on sight.
I'll keep my head down.
This is a good spot. Reach Adamire, take out the Crown Killer, and find out where Sokolov was taken. The alchemist, Hypatia. She'll help if she can. Sokolov likes her.
I'll see you later at Adamire. Just wait to bring up the boat until after I've disabled the watchtower.
Welcome to Karnaca, stranger. No need to cover your face. There's not much dust from the mines down here at the docks. You'll be okay on the docks, stranger. But watch out past the wall of light.
What ship is that out there? You know the skipper?
The Dreadful Whale. No, it's not on the registry. Maybe one of the recent importers from Mordor.
Let's give it a day or two. If she's still there, I can...
Hey, something wrong? You bet.
That's Adamire in the distance.
Farrell. He seems to be late.
Or maybe we're early.
He should be here, with the Red Shark. This is unacceptable. I have a very tight schedule.
Don't worry, you'll make it eventually. If not today, then tomorrow.
Is that a joke? Santiago Fisheries have a reputation to maintain. We have clients all over the Isles. Do I need to remind you that fish is a delicate cargo? We can't afford any delays.
Well, it's fermented red shark, which is a nice way of saying it's fish that's already gone bad.
You can just tell your clients that here in Karnaca, we like it very fermented.
Unacceptable. Farrell is going to pay for this. Air's a bit thick. Dust has been a problem lately. 100 times I thought about leaving this place.
Can you imagine being attacked by such a monster out at sea? They're horrible creatures. I've heard the sailors say they actually sing. Can you imagine it? What nonsense.
We don't normally see many of these beasts this far south. They're like the cold waters to the north.
Hey, come here. I have something that might interest you. My name's Mindy Blanchard, and you look like someone who goes into places where you don't belong. Want to help me with something? You scratch my ass, I'll scratch yours.
I need to get to Addermeyer Institute. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, I know how to do that. You go get a body for me, and I'll help you with your problem. Don't worry, he's already dead.
A body? That's odd. From where?
The overseers are holding him at their outpost. They think he was a kind of a witch. I want the body for reasons of my own. Sneak in and take it, then meet me in the old basement below the dentist office near there.
I'll think about it. I'm being hunted by half the people in the Empire. Part of me is excited about what happens if they find me.
Please? It's too late for that, Rapallo. Guess what happens next?
The Wall of Light. From the time of the Rat Plague.
I've seen cities go bad before. Smelled the rot. So have you. 15 years ago in Dunwall. Did you miss it? That year that made you who you are? Don't deny it. Rats in the cradle, black smoke rising from burning bodies, an entire city crying out. Now it's happening again. Welcome back. Welcome home. People like you and the Crown Killer are a part of places like this.
That's it. The body Mindy sent me after. That's Mindy Blanchard.
Come on, come on. Hey, you got him. Put it down in the hole. Good job. Take this.
I won't ask you why you needed that. So how do I get to Addermeyer?
I just sent one of my boys to turn off the power to the carriage rails. When the juice is off, you can walk along the rails and get where you need to go. On the other side, there's a station that will take you to Addermeyer.
Better than nothing. Thanks for your help.
So now you've been paid, hit the road. Stay on the good side of the Howlers, my friend. We're moving up in Karnaca. Going to run this place someday.
That's it. The electricity's off.
Addermeyer Station? More. Oh, really?
More Grand Guard soldiers. Lapdogs for the Duke.
One of us is down!
I told Miss Lucia Pastor that they wouldn't let us take the carriage. Addermeyer is closed to the public.
We'll have to try again. We have to see Dr. Hypatia.
They don't let anyone see her anymore. Not even people who need urgent treatment.
If we tell them that we represent Lucia Pastor and the Miners' Family Committee, they can't refuse us. Hundreds of miners are counting on us. Hundreds of children, coughing dust and fading a little more each day. In the past, the good doctor always cared for them.
She did, and I worried that it got her in trouble.
If we lose Hypatia's support, then there's no one left on our side. As bad as things. Careful!
It wasn't always like this here, I can tell you that.
Adamire Station. This should take me out to the Institute. The Adamire Institute of Infectious Disease. Alexandria Hypatia, chief alchemist. Once it was a solarium for pampered aristocrats recuperating from their imagined ills. Now it's a place of alchemical study. The Crown Killer's taking lives in my name, which is about to end. They say Dr. Hypatia's brilliant, but if she's involved with the murders, she's going to pay.
Let's feed the rats.
Don't be like that. Times are hard enough without you getting bitter.
When Adamire was open to the public, I was proud of working there. Cooking for the sick, discussing recipes with Dr. Hypatia. Now it feels useless. Even the familiar parts of the city are starting to feel dodgy. That's no way to live.
That's the watchtower.
Fifth Lieutenant Mikos, report to the duty officer as soon as you've finished your current patrol.
I so enjoy watching history warp as words pass from the lips of one to the ears of another. Imperfectly formed, half understood, poorly remembered. In the years to come, the story of the Crown Killer will be twisted and bent, hammered like soft metal. By some accounts, a monster that had to be put down. By others, a victim of treachery, preserved because in the end, you found another way. But you'll always remember the truth, won't you? Your truth, at least.
Alexandria Hypatia.
I've gotten something under my fingernails again. What was I working with? Iodine, perhaps?
Are you all right?
Dr. Hypatia did this. She's the Crown Killer. But she's not herself. She developed a serum trying to help the miners. The first version caused horrible changes to her mind. It's too late for me, but maybe you can still save her. She's A good person.
What can I do?
In my safe. In disease treatment. You'll figure out how to make the counter serum help her. The safe code is 587.
I've always wondered what flesh tastes like, my dear assistant. Perhaps an algae that produces my serum in the water tanks of the city, in the rivers themselves.
She's gone. What happened?
What do I smell here? River mud, northern spices, wood smoke, Dunwall. You smell young. Good. Oh, I'm going to have fun with your corpse.
Her assistant's book. Disgusting. For her sake, I hope this works.
No, no, no! Not back to sleep! I won't go. I won't give it back!
Dr. Hypatia?
Yes. I'm sorry. Something's not right with me. Maybe I contracted something working with infectious samples.
No. Someone was poisoning you. But you should be better now. I found some alchemical notes and made a counter serum.
Poisoning me?
Don't worry. I'm gonna take care of it. If you need a place to lay low for a few days, come find us. I'm staying with an ally on a boat called the Dreadful Whale.
You did well finding Anton Sokolov, my friend. The old man is with Kirin Jindosh, who's prying him apart, digging out all his secrets, adding Sokolov's knowledge to his own. Who knows what wonders of natural philosophy Jindosh will reveal in future days. But it's time for you to come out once again. Time to play. We have need for your special talents. The good doctors do for a trip to Dunwall because Ichabod Boyle is next on the list. Make haste, and make this one messy. Give the newspapers something to write about and give the people of the Empire fodder for their nightmares.
Clearly, Dr. Hypatia's not seeing patients anymore.
I'll lay low until you're finished. Can we leave this place yet? I don't like it. Ready now?
Yes. Let's get back to the ship.
Did you find Sokolov?
No, but Hypatia was the crown killer.
What? I don't believe you.
The Duke tricked her into injecting herself with a flawed version of her serum. It changed her, but there was an antidote, so she's alive. If she remembers the murders, she'll have to deal with that.
What about Sokolov?
We gave him to a man named Kirin Jindosh. Do you know him?
Everybody knows him. The grand inventor of Serkonos.
Then he's next. Let's hope Anton's all right. In his day, Sokolov was Dunwall's genius. His inventions transformed the city. I watched from the tower as they changed the capital into a prison, and listened as he drank and laughed, telling my mother time and again how brilliant he was. After her death, Sokolov's inventions helped a tyrant take control of the Empire. Now, all these years later, Kirin Jindosh is Karnaca's genius. The mad inventor who's given the Duke sinister machines that move like people but aren't. Clockwork soldiers that fight and kill. I've got to find out where Sokolov's being held and bring the old man back alive. Rescue one genius and kill the other before he creates an army of clockwork soldiers.
You might want to talk to Hypatia before we head out. She's taken one of the rooms. Just for a while, I think. Needed to be away from Admire.
What did I do? What did I do? All these faces and the Duke.
Oh, you're here. Stay with me a moment.
Dr. Hypatia, can you remember anything that might help me? I need to find Anton Sokolov. He could be the key to unraveling the Duke's plans.
My memories are disjointed. The Duke is close to his grand inventor, Kirin Jindosh. But that man has the empathy of a mantis. He seems to both admire and despise Sokolov. We visited Aramis Stilton. I liked him. But something bad happened. Just snatches of memory. Sorry.
You should rest easy for a while. Maybe some of that will help.
I hope so. I'm not sure I even fully understand what you did for me, but I owe you for helping me at Admire. Thank you. My dreams are still filled with visions, some of which I'd sooner forget.
Let's hope your friend doesn't sink the boat while we're gone. Ready?
Ready.
All right, let's get underway. Jindosh is important to the Duke's inner circle. The Grand Guard watches his mansion, and they'll call down the entire city if they find out who you are.
I'll make sure they don't. You said there's a wall of light cutting off access to the carriage station?
Yes, but there's a black market shop nearby. They sell on the sly. Ever use a rewiring tool?
Corvo taught me the theory.
Good. Get past the wall of light, then ride the carriage to where Jindosh lives. And there's a reason people are afraid of his mansion.
I'll get it done.
Emily, take care of this crazy man and his clockwork soldiers, then bring Sokolov back. He means a lot to me. His home is supposed to be full of marvels. Locals go in as a test of courage or because they're desperate for a meal. Kids, even. People say you can hear them at night, pounding on the windows, calling for help. The carriage will take you fairly close to the mansion. The Duke looks after people like Jindosh. When you're done, meet me back here. If you can't find a rewiring tool, and you manage to get to the other side of the wall of light, there should be a power source somewhere. A whale oil tank or windmill. Turning it off works just as good, and nobody gets burned to ashes. Careful with the wall of light. I once saw a kid dare his little brother to touch one of those things. A second later, nothing left but dust. The Duke's circle is full of clever bastards, all working for a percentage. But no one is like Jindosh. Not since Sokolov. Jindosh entered as clockwork soldiers in the Duke's tournament, the Blade Verbana. No one can beat them. Corvo won that when he was 16, didn't he? But he never faced anything like the Clockworks. Jindosh won't care who you are or what you want. To him, it's all a puzzle to work out. He looks at you like he wants to take you apart.
When the Vanguard go into the place and see it packed solid with blood flies, they burn the building to the ground. And the ones on either side.
They may just smoke flash it. Either way, the jewels will be ruined. We're not getting our money, are we?
Have some faith. It'll just be more complicated than I thought it would be.
The Dukes let the blood flies get out of hand this year. Am I ever gonna catch a break?
Nobody's looking out for nobody right now. We'll go back tonight and dig the jewels out. After that, we'll make a quick exit from Karnaca. Bastard overseers beat my man last month for whistling something heretical. If you stay here, just don't go poking your nose where it don't belong.
My parents were from Tivia, but I was born right here. I got stung by a blood fly once. Arm swelled up something awful.
Appreciate it. I'll let you in on a secret. I saw people coming and going recently, looking for whale oil, up to something. So many people legging it from the city. The Grand Guard and the Howlers won't have anybody to tax or rob. I worked in the silver mines here until the dust got to my lungs. Everybody's got the willies now. Feels like the city might collapse.
I don't know you.
I'm new to Karnaca. I need a tool that can rewire a wall of light, the kind the Grand Guard uses, and I'd prefer not to explain myself.
I can help you out, but not right now. Don't even linger here. I'm supposed to get a visit from Paolo, someone you don't want to meet. Come back later.
Understood.
You should go. We can do business another time. Like I said, Paolo is coming by. I think he's here. Hide yourself. They'll see you if you try to leave. Find a place to hide and we'll do business afterwards. It's too late to run. I'm begging you, hide until Paolo's gone. He'll hurt you.
What am I doing here?
I need 8 new cutters, short blades, the good stuff. Morley steel.
I know what you mean.
Do you? Because last time, you gave me some backwater foundry garbage that wouldn't hold an edge, and snapped against Grand Guard armor.
I got taken on that deal too. But I'll make it up to you, Paolo. Lop off maybe 10%?
30. Because I like you. By next week.
That's fair. I made a bad faith trade and I regret it. You'll have the cutters, I promise.
Good, good. These are strange times. Overseers in the Dust District, a witch empress, and these clockwork soldiers protecting their aristocracy. All bad for business. But if I get my way, Karnaca will be a different city a year from now.
impossible feat.
Can you?
He's gone. What happened?
I'll tell you a story about Jindosh, the Duke's grand inventor. Once he was commissioned to make a toy for a 6-year Tivian noble girl. Jindosh worked for 3 months and built a machine composed of wood, brass, and the bones of several cats. It ran on a few drops of whale oil a day. The little girl was told she would have a special treat, and she was perfectly delighted until the moment it was activated. She lives in an asylum up at Dabaktha now, and will until the end of her days.
You can see Jindosh's mansion from here. The gate's down. I'll need the code.
Give me a handful of the clockworks and I'll clean up the dust district. I don't know, maybe the tall boys were better at the time of the Rat Plague. They made people stand up straight. Times change. If the Duke has his way, we'll have an army of the clockwork soldiers by this time next year.
The mansion has a strange beauty to it, but all such places must eventually come to ruin. Jindosh, it's time to pay for what you've done, and maybe I can find Sokolov.
Welcome to my home, stranger. The door is always open to those with the will to pass the threshold. If you're here by appointment, then proceed and bide your time. Otherwise, I'd be remiss if I didn't inform you about the defensive mechanisms employed here, which are quite formidable. Many have entered without invitation, for reasons as myriad as the fish in the ocean. But of those who've dared to explore further, very few have found their way back out.
Who would build something like this? And why?
Someone's activated one of the mechanisms in my house.
Jindosh.
Welcome, visitor. My home is always open. It's one of my great curiosities, seeing how the common mind navigates these shifting rooms. I'm Jindosh, but you must know that. Before you stands an invention that will endure beyond my time. The Jindosh Clockwork Soldier. Marvel at the Clockwork Soldier's hardened metallic skeleton and razor-sharp blades. My greatest creation. I invite you to continue, stranger. Just come up the stairs. Meet with me face to face in the upper hall. That's it. You're almost there. Come into the gallery so I can see you. In part, I made this place for luxury and spectacle, I suppose, but it's more than that. This place is a testament to engineering itself. You're surrounded by the individual components of my greatest creation, the Clockwork Soldier. Greatest creation.
Barred from the other side.
My warm light, the original Sokolov version, inelegant but effective. This one has been perfected by yours truly.
Sounds like someone's in the building. Should we wake the clockwork?
It'll wake up on its own if a fight breaks out. They're blind, but they can still hear.
Creepy to know they might be listening to us. Can they understand what we're saying?
No. No more than an audiograph machine can.
Maybe when the weather turns, I'll have my man plant tomatoes.
You think at these prices, the man wouldn't keep us waiting?
There's only one Kirin Jindosh. He can charge whatever he likes. Besides, you're rich enough to afford a couple of the clockworks. I happen to know you've doubled your fortune since the Duke took over the silver mines.
Lower wages means higher profits, but it's my time that's precious. I'm not used to waiting.
Neither am I. When was the last time someone had me waiting for more than an hour? I can't remember. It's almost titillating.
How many clockworks did you say there were? It's a numbered set, if I recall.
It is indeed, but 36, 46? Very exclusive, whatever the count. Everyone at the Garden Club will be green with envy.
I wonder who will live here in this place after I've passed from the world. How long will the intricate parts continue to function?
There he goes again. Who do you suppose he's talking to?
It explains the delay at least. If there is a break-in, I hope the clockworks deal with it quickly. I'm tired of waiting for Jindosh.
I'm surprised you're so passionate about regaining your throne. By all accounts, you were quite rubbish as an empress. I've made so many things, this house not the least among them. But I suppose it's my clockwork soldiers I'll be remembered for. Does hiding your face intimidate your enemies? Or merely conceal your own fear?
I think I heard something.
What is it that motivates you? Intelligence? Passion? Perhaps it is something I cannot measure, but I will try. You might think you're going to destroy me, but you'll only end up teaching me, adding to my studies. I wonder, does it get under your skin, knowing that Delilah is sleeping in your chambers at Dunwall Tower? In my autopsy, I would be curious to observe the rumored degeneracy of the Kaldwin line. Be careful. This was devised to test the limits of the clockwork soldiers. Quite dangerous. If you're really looking for Sokolov, that old nag is around here somewhere. Oh, good show. You've overcome one of my clockwork soldiers from the sound of it. Surprising, given your cobbled upbringing.
Can it be? Is that young Emily Kaldwin?
Anton, save your strength. I came to take you out of here.
Jindosh has bigger plans than you know. An army of his clockwork soldiers. It would be the end.
I'm going to visit Jindosh too, old friend.
Now what?
You'll be safer in the carriage, Sokolov. Then, I owe Jindosh a visit.
Sneaky Emily Kaldwin, tricking the sensory inputs on my poor clockwork soldiers.
Somehow I got out of that alive.
You're quite close now. I can't remember any other visitor getting so far. Give your pride. Anticipation. It seems you found my bedroom, though I confess sleep usually eludes me. My mind won't stop turning.
Ramsey and the Crown Killer were just the start. I need to break down Delilah's remaining allies. Jindosh, the Duke, all of them.
One of the finest views in all Karnaca. So many events in motion, each exerting subtle gravity. With Delilah, a new empire could be drawn, and all the old barriers broken. Much could be accomplished. My clockwork soldiers have played their part, but each costs more coin than a wealthy man sees in a lifetime. It could take years to find a solution on my own. But if Sokolov can be tamed, together we might refine the process, making new clockworks at a fraction of the cost. Whether I seduce my old teacher with the thrill of discovery, or whether I'm forced to apply the clamps to his flesh and turn on the voltage, no matter. At last, Imperial Majesty, you found me. You realize you're only the second person to set foot in this room, the most sophisticated laboratory in the Isles. Please, try not to damage anything as you die. Clockwork soldiers, dispatch this intruder!
This must be the electroshock machine Jindosh mentioned.
Anton Sokolov, once the royal physician and head of the Academy of Natural Philosophy. In your prime, the most sought-after painter in all the Empire. My hero in younger days. Now, my puppet.
If you're going to use this inelegant-looking device against me, get on with it, Jindosh. Though I'm not sure what you hope to accomplish. I must admit to feeling a bit of professional curiosity as to the function of the apparatus.
Patience, friend, patience. The sequence of events is important. You'll come to understand my electroshock machine, but when? Before or after that light leaves your eyes? And where does it go when it disappears? Who will tell me that?
Has anyone ever loved the sound of his own voice as much as you do, Kieran? Perhaps the device could tell us that.
No, sadly it cannot. But what it can do is take from you the thing you love the most. Your precious intellect. If you won't agree to collaborate on the next clockwork prototype, I'll use the device on that brain of yours, Sokolov.
I refuse. If I'm to be a drooling idiot, at least I won't be bothered by any more of your rambling fury.
If I use this machine on Jindosh, it'll destroy part of his intellect.
I'll give you anything you want! Stop! Don't do this! So much will be lost! An age of advancement!
This is what we're going to do to Anton Sokolov.
And if I combine the acid against a copper plate, what does it do? I knew that a moment ago. Does anyone know the answer? I had an idea. It's gone now.
You did it. How is he? He's frail and wounded, but he'll recover.
I didn't think it was possible. You must have a story to tell. I'll hear it back at the ship.
The void, but somehow different this time.
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago. I made you flee your precious tower and turned your father into cold stone. How difficult for you. But when I was young, sweet Jessamine and I were close as sisters, sharing a secret. Emperor Kaldwin had another daughter, born in shame to a kitchen maid.
Am I dreaming? If not, how is Delilah doing this?
I told you when you're older. Perhaps next year.
You said that last year. Jessamine's younger than me, and she's a court every day.
Jessamine is, well, it's complicated. We'll understand someday.
What did I do? I'll be good. I swear.
Next year, I promise.
Jessamine and I played games in the tower, but at night I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy would visit and tell me if I was good. Next year I'd be old enough to come to court to be a princess. Then one day, pretty Jessamine broke something worth a fortune, and the spy master caught us. She claimed I did it, and he whipped me in the garden house until I bled. My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep.
I didn't break it. Would you like to tell me what did?
We were just playing.
Emily and Jessamine. Who is here now?
It was her! Delilah's life! She broke it! I saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick on an assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for weeks after a fat guard broke her jaw. They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing bedsheets in a brothel, I painted on the side, until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word for it. I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn.
My mother's sick. She needs help.
Your mother kicked off while you were out begging. She's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No!
Your sentence is served and she'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
When I saw what they'd done to Anton Sokolov, I wanted to hurt everyone who'd helped Delilah and the Duke of Serkonos pull off their coup. Sokolov is the man who made whale oil into a weapon, who turned back the plague, and now he's barely able to speak. The hands that painted the most powerful men and women of our time shake too badly to hold a spoon. When he does talk, he's going to give me a name. The next step along the way to Duke Luca Abel, then Delilah herself. A name. That's all I need.
I'm with you, even in the void. If only I could do more.
Mother? That wasn't a dream, was it?
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
All this is her doing, and she'll die for it.
Our decisions have weight. I feel my time drawing to an end. Soon.
Anton, you've had 3 days to rest. Tell me how to kill Delilah.
They tortured him. His body is covered with bruises.
Delilah has the throne, and my father is missing. This is Anton Sokolov, the greatest mind in the Empire.
No, Emily. Megan is right. I can make electricity move from one side of the room to the other, but Delilah is beyond my understanding. When I came to Sarkonos, I meant to leave everything behind. But when the assassination started, I couldn't ignore it. By the time Megan and I connected the murders to the Duke, it was too late. The Crown Killer came for me. It kept me alive from my knowledge, but I saw things. Jindosh often had a visitor, Brianna Ashworth.
She's the curator of the Royal Conservatory.
Yes, Ashworth is dangerous, as obsessed with the occult as Delilah. Apparently, she's working on a device called the Oraculum.
There's more to her than either of you know.
If Ashworth is one of Delilah's lieutenants, I need to eliminate her. Who knows what this device is capable of, or what she's up to. The void, but somehow different this time.
Surprised I can pull you into this place? The outsider marked me long ago. I made you flee your precious tower and turned your father into cold stone. How difficult for you. But when I was young, sweet Jessamine and I were close as sisters, sharing a secret. Emperor Kaldwin had another daughter, born in shame to a kitchen maid.
Am I dreaming? If not, how is Delilah doing this?
I told you when you're older. How's next year?
You said that last year. Jessamine's younger than me, and she's a court every day.
Business? Well, it's complicated. You'll understand someday.
What did I do? I'll be good. I swear.
Next year, I promise.
Jessamine and I played games in the tower, but at night I'd go back to the servants' quarters to cockroaches and thin gruel. Emperor Daddy would visit and tell me if I was good. Next year I'd be old enough to come to court to be a princess. Then one day, pretty Jessamine broke something worth a fortune, and the spy master caught us. She claimed I did it, and he whipped me in the garden house until I bled. My mother lost her kitchen job, and that night we were out on the streets with no place to sleep.
I didn't break it.
Would you like to tell me what did?
We were just playing.
Young lady Jessamine, let's hear it now.
It was her. Delilah's light. She broke it.
Mother and I saw the nastiest parts of Dunwall, ending up in debtor's prison. Jessamine died quick on an assassin's blade, but my mother lingered for weeks after a fat guard broke her jaw. They threw me out when she died. I looked up at the lights of Dunwall Tower and swore revenge. Washing bedsheets in a brothel, I painted on the side, until Anton Sokolov took me as a student. That's the polite word for it. I was crafty even before the outsider marked me, and survived the worst the Empire could offer. Now it's your turn.
My mother's sick. She needs help.
Your mother kicked off while you were out begging. She's another bag of bones now, girl.
What? No!
Her sentence is served and she'll be tossed out with the others. You can't stay here anymore.
It's hard to know whether my dear old aunt is telling the truth or not. When I saw what they'd done to Anton Sokolov, I wanted to hurt everyone who'd helped Delilah and the Duke of Sarkonos pull off their coup. Sokolov is the man who made whale oil into a weapon, who turned back the plague, and now he's barely able to speak. The hands that painted the most powerful men and women of our time shake too badly to hold a spoon. When he does talk, he's going to give me a name. The next step along the way to Duke Abel, then Delilah herself. A name. That's all I need.
I'm with you, even in the void. If only I could do more.
Mother? That wasn't a dream, was it?
Am I to blame for Delilah's bitterness?
All this is her doing, and she'll die for it.
Our decisions have weight. I feel my time drawing to an end. Soon.
Good to see you're still with us. Thank you for helping, Anton.
Sokolov's not the only one making a rapid recovery. I'll be good enough to leave soon. There's a lot to do. Of course, unless the Duke falls, he'll undo my best efforts here.
Then we'll have to make sure Duke Abel doesn't overstay his welcome.
Karnaca's key leaders are flawed, for certain. After all this is settled with the Duke, and the time of the coup has passed, whichever ones are left standing could change things here. Consider that, as you come face to face with the Duke's remaining associates.
Some of them have made their beds, Alexandria.
If I don't see you again, you've got my ongoing gratitude.
We'll take the skiff. I don't want to bring the dreadful whale any closer than we have to. There is a small dock in Syria Gardens, close to the conservatory. That's as far as I can take you. Ready to go?
Yes, let's go.
There'll be a Grand Guard presence outside the Royal Conservatory. Inside, be prepared for anything. Ashworth runs with an eclectic crowd. They'll be the real danger.
Someday I'd like to know more about how you met Ashworth.
I know you would. Trust me. Ashworth is important to Delilah. Which brings up something else. You might be able to exploit the Abbey of the Everyman in removing Ashworth from play. Turns out the Vice Overseer in Karnaca has been watching Ashworth from a hidden outpost near the Royal Conservatory. Check it out first if you want more options. Remember, if she's still working with Delilah, Ashworth is a grave threat.
Thanks, Megan. See you soon.
Delilah's coven crossed paths with my old gang 15 years back. It was a bad time. If you can find Byrne's spying setup, he's probably collected some useful notes about whatever Ashworth is up to. I'll meet you back here when it's done. Ashworth won't give a second thought to cutting your throat. Don't give her the chance. Brianna Ashworth is a true believer. She'll never turn away from Delilah.
You're a little like myself again. Why me? So much dust lately from all the mining. Stepped up production.
Then I'll run. You start any shit around here, we're jumping in.
So I don't have to listen to him tell me about how good it was under the Duke's food.
Today's your lucky day, madam. It's the day you get to meet Pirate Betty in person. Time to pay the price if you want to live.
Oh, wait, wasn't she a waitress down on the docks?
You must have heard the stories about Pirate Betty. About all the terrible things I've done to the fools who refuse to give up some trinkets or a bag of coins.
No, I've never heard one word about your exploits, but go on. What did you do to your marks? Give them a good tap on the nose?
For shit's sake, why do you have to ruin everything? I played my part when I was the victim, How are we supposed to attract any suckers if you won't play along?
You're the worst suck I've ever seen. Pirate Betty? My ass. You couldn't scare a seagull.
What a moving, tragic death. You're a far better actress than I am.
Hey, where do you think
this
you're
one's
going?
carrying coin.
You won't get away! Time to die, little girl!
Hey, look!
Brianna Ashworth, curator of the Royal Conservatory. For a while, I've believed Ashworth has some connection to the occult in Karnaca. Something is happening that I don't understand. The overseers are the forward face of the Abbey, but equally important are our sisters from the Oracular Order. To be direct, I suspect something is wrong within their sect. Subtle changes to the types of proclamations they've been making. Small but troubling deviations from tradition. But publicly saying anything along those lines will get me accused of heresy by my rivals within the Abbey. Is it possible that Ashworth has infiltrated the Oracular Order?
So Vice Overseer Byrne thinks Ashworth is interfering with the Oracular Order. If true, it's another reason she has to be eliminated.
Huh?
Ashworth is somewhere inside the Royal Conservatory.
Look at you, leaving a trail of bloody boot prints across this dying city. Brianna Ashworth would have been miserable as a member of high society, forced to wed some bloated banker. Her only moments of real freedom, getting drunk at fancy balls, and slipping away to couple with strangers. It would have ended in an unhappy marriage and a late-night plunge into an icy river. But just before Mother and Father married her off, so many years ago, she found Delilah instead. It was all highways and graveyards after that, never looking back. Vice Overseer Byrne is an ambitious man, but he believes in the Abbey's mission, protecting the good people of the Empire against the likes of us. You know he'd be happier deep down if this ended with Brianna Ashworth's head on a spike. Maybe yours as well.
I need to find out how a sword through the heart wasn't enough to kill our new Empress Delilah.
I'm told he's a gibbering idiot now. How goes the communion? I am hungry to whisper into the ears of the Oracular Sisters.
My influence grows. Last night,
Vice Overseer Byrne's suspicions were right.
die here, whoever you were.
Been looking at her old journals in the Forbidden Archives. She's going to be cross.
I only had a bit of a peek. Brianna was busy with something elaborate just before Delilah came to Karnaca. I wanted to know what it was.
I'm teasing Tamina. I read it too. Do you think Delilah really could have done that? I've heard the same stories about Paolo the Howler.
What you've heard about Paolo is not the same. He's a street orphan, full of tricks. But I have faith Delilah could do such a thing.
Coming
Why
back.
am I
It doesn't
always
seem
on this
possible.
together moss
That's all.
My dear
Seems like whenever it
Orlando,
involves missing
some people
sleep,
see
they always
doors where you and I only see walls.
Just to enjoy the silence.
Is this a riddle? We're talking about the Grand Guard, right? Not the lovely bloodflies.
Of course. The bloodflies adore us. We should find more of the newly dead, so they can make new nests.
Then I agree. But dear Brianna wants us to wait until after the communion. Until she's finished with the Oracular Sisters. We can't risk raising suspicion now.
Then for now, we'll wait. Content with the nests we have.
I meant nothing to my fine family, beyond an advantageous marriage and years of childbearing. They promised me to a man 3 times my age who wheezed on about our wedding night. But a curious thing happened on the way to the altar, Delilah. From the first time I slipped out of the manor in the dead of night, there was no returning to my cage. Looking at the stars and drinking wine on a rooftop, I was free. Instead of seeing the overseers for marriage, I visited my father's banker and raced away from my old life toward Delilah. Those were the Coven's glory days.
These odd lenses might be linked to what Ashworth is working on.
As if you could ever hide your face from me, Emily. Little Black Sparrow, free from your cage at last.
Brianna Ashworth is dead.
Spoiled child! You had no right! Born into a silk-padded cradle, you'll never understand what she meant to me.
And everything you've stolen? All the lives you've ruined?
It should have been mine to begin with. Everything that's happened is wrong. But don't you worry, I'm going to make it all better.
Give me back my throne and my father.
Come and take them, girl. I welcome you to my tower.
Ashworth's journal might tell me more about why Delilah can't be killed.
After Delilah fell to the assassin Dowd, her magic was lost, and the Coven scattered. I made a new life in Karnaca. Then I heard her whispering from the void, leading me to the Duke, who heard those same whispers. Together we worked to bring Delilah back into the world, changing the Empire from the home of Aramis Stilton 3 years ago. Across the Isles, all of us who'd been with her at Brigmore and before, we felt the magic return. Others joined. New faces, new blood. Now, Delilah is immortal. Forever. She holds Dunwall, and we've turned to corrupting the oracular order. The Overseers take guidance from their prophetic sisters, and soon we'll influence their dreams and visions.
Greetings. I provide only the finest service. Welcome to my shop. What can I do for you today?
Interested in this? It's supposed to be an early prototype by Roseboro.
Oh, so you're familiar with Roseborough's work. Honestly, it's an interesting trinket, but it's not worth much. Trade it to me and I'll draft up some schematics based on the design that you can use to modify your tools.
It's worth more than that. Last chance if you want it.
I see. Of course. I meant no offense. I'll throw in a finder's fee and a discount here at the shop as well.
Deal.
Anything else I can interest you in?
So it's done.
Ashworth won't be a problem anymore.
Good. But Emily, there's something else. Back when I lived in Dunwall, I did things that I'm not proud of.
Isn't that a requirement for citizenship?
What I've got to say is not a joke. I knew Delilah and Ashworth. Bought into their bullshit. Which led me down a bad road. To be honest, before all this, I thought Delilah dead. I don't want to get into it right now. But I felt like you should know. There are things I regret.
You never know who to trust, do you?
Everybody makes mistakes, Empress. You'll have to tell me all your secrets someday. Are you ready to leave now?
Yes. Let's go. Take me back to the Dreadful Whale.
Another step toward the Duke of Serkonos. And Delilah.
For several years, Delilah's been here, getting stronger, turning people against me. Why didn't I see it coming? What was I doing during that time? Pretending to listen at court, ruling through an army of bureaucrats, waiting for the next chance to get free of Dunwall Tower. Well, now I'm free. If only I could go back. Aramis Stilton was once an ally of the Duke, the owner of Karnaca's mines. Stilton lived in a fortified bunker at the heart of the Dust District. No one's seen him for years, since around the time Delilah started making her moves. But whether Stilton's alive or dead, his home holds the key to Delilah's immortality. I need to know why Delilah can't be killed. Everything we've learned implies that something strange happened at Aramis Stilton's home 3 years ago, but then he disappeared.
Stilton lived in a bunker kept secure by a fancy lock made by Jindosh. Maybe inside you'll learn more about how to stop Delilah.
But I have to get there first. Through a ruin created by the Duke, where my father grew up.
Megan had an intriguing idea. Howlo is leader of the Howlers. He wants Vice Overseer Byrne killed, and of course, Byrne wants Paolo dead too. Both groups will attack you on sight, but walk in with the corpse of their chief enemy, and they'll treat you like family.
You think they'll help me get into Aramis Stilton's home?
I'm pretty sure that will work.
Seeing this place and these people, I can feel my perspective changing. How will I be different after this? The Dust District. I've read about the winds coming through the cleft in Shindaray Peak, how the city uses it for windmills and mining operations.
Ready now?
Ready.
We'll take Megan's skiff closer.
Who was the man I'm after? Aramis Stilton?
An ally to the old Duke, loyal and smart. Stilton helped build modern Karnaca with those silver mines. Started as a miner, and worked his way up until he was a prince of industry. But now, the new Duke drives the mine crews night and day. Dust falls non-stop onto the district. What was once prosperous is now in ruins.
I suppose the Duke doesn't care, as long as he sips from silver cups.
And what are the cups at Dunwall Tower made from, Empress? In any case, you'll have to pass through the Dust District to reach Stilton's home. Maybe he's still in there, or maybe he's dead. Once you reach the Dust District, she'll tell you more. I'll wait here with this skiff and take you back to the dreadful whale after you finish.
The mines could have been run slower for another generation. Only the Duke's greed caused all the ruin here.
Has life been better here under Dunwall's influence?
Or are the people worse off for it? Without the Empire, would they have thrown down the Duke?
The people here have never seen the Duke's banquet table. Or yours.
That stabbed to death or dragged down by the Abbey's hounds. One young lieutenant got hit by an overseer grenade, and that was it. She was one of the Duke's distant cousins or something.
Shit. Let's hope they do enough damage to each other so the fight goes out of them.
That won't happen until someone manages to kill either Paolo or Vice Overseer Byrne. And I don't see you or me beating the path to the Crone's hand, or up to the temporary stronghold the Abbey's got set up.
Hello, Emily. Stilton's home is just beyond here. But getting inside will take some effort. I've been doing reconnaissance. Talking to people. The Overseers and the Howlers have divided up the district. Just ahead is neutral territory where no one will harass you. But further on, the Howlers and the Overseers both have boundaries set up. And beyond those points, they'll attack you on sight.
Aramis Stilton is the real goal. Sokolov said you had an idea.
Yes. I believe that if you take out Paolo or Vice Overseer Byrne, the other one will grant you safe passage, and will help you get inside Stilton's home. Neutralize either one of them, and bring him to the other.
What else do you know that might help me?
Byrne is protected by the Overseers. Paolo has the Howlers, but I think he's also got some kind of black magic charm. They say he's got to die twice before the sun sets, or he can't be killed. Good luck with that. When the Duke falls, one of these groups could own Karnaca. Better get to know them now. The entrance to Stilton's home is below. That's where I got jumped by the Duke's men a few years back when Stilton went missing. I killed 3 of them and got away with my life. If Stilton is still alive, go easy on him. He wasn't born an aristocrat. If you've got reservations about going after Paolo or Byrne, the Howlers might be holding the secret to the Jindosh lock. The kind of riddle that otherwise I doubt you'll be able to solve. Open that lock, and you can just walk right through Stilton's front door. This part of the city used to be nice, but digging out the silver too fast has ruined it. Some people get to eat the fancy dishes without ever seeing the animal get its belly slit open. The two sides are struggling over the hearts of the underclass in Karnaca. Vice Overseer Byrne offers them the solace of tradition and structure. The Howlers claim to fight for the people against the powerful. You'll have to decide who's right. The Howlers and the Overseers are breaking bones and cutting out tongues for half a block of territory. Like I said, if you don't want to mess with the Overseers or the Howlers, just walk up to Stilton's front door and try your hand at the Jindosh lock. Maybe you're smarter than the thousands who've tried to open it.
This is the Duke of Circon. Been told that people are complaining about dust from the mines falling on the city. Yes, war is expensive. You may not be aware that our silver mines are operating past full capacity in order to fund our conflict against the Northern Isle. That's not dust. It's the blood of our enemies.
Jemmy's sister says you can beat any lock in the city. I'm not sure why Stilton's house needed to be shut up tight like this, but what do you think? Can you crack it?
Give me a minute.
Durante knows how to get in here. Paolo had him feeding old Stilton or watching him. I was gonna pay him off for the secret, but Durante got beat down by the Overseers and taken away.
I don't even understand what this is. I don't see any seams.
Jimmy's sister says it's a gimmick, like he weren't a real locksmith who made it.
No, this was built by Kieran Jindosh. Scary smart. He's the one who made the clockwork soldiers for the Duke.
So can you open it? Or maybe just solve it?
No, can't do either. It's a lock designed by a man who creates machines that kill people. You can keep your money, I'm not touching it.
Never mind. Maybe another time.
Or not. Let's go.
Playing dice tonight. Are you in?
Maybe I cut them both down. Howlers and Overseers.
Hello. At first I thought you were one of Paolo's gang, but you don't look so bad up close. Somehow, being so close to the Howlers has kept me safe so far. They like me because I pay up every month. All they care about is the money. Business used to be real good here, with the silver mines and all. How things change.
If Paolo gets his way, the law will mean even less than it does under the Duke. If you ask me, it'd be good if the Howlers and the boys from the Abbey end up killing each other off.
Abbey, the Howlers, what's the difference? They're all bastards. I've never been keen on the idea of the Abbey exerting more control. They see us as sheep.
The soup is only for the workers and their families. Something tells me you're not one of them. Between what the Duke did, and now the Howlers and the Overseers fighting over the area, these people haven't been fortunate. It's a hot one, that's for sure.
I wouldn't get too close. I got a touch of something.
Give me a handout. I'm not proud. Thank you, friend. If you're brave and you're looking to make some money, there's a back door to the Crone's Hand Saloon leading to the basement. You look like you're on the road yourself, not one of the high and mighty. Watch out for the Overseers, stranger, and the Howlers. The Grand Guard are a bunch of shitbirds, too. Shitbirds all the way to the top. It's hard here now. The miners hate to do, but they're lucky to have work.
It's the Overseers who don't give you a choice.
Find another way, brother. This path is barred to traffic.
I can't believe this. I've lived in this district for most of my
Your
life.
face is covered. The Grand Guard won't like
If you believe this to be an inconvenience, weigh it against losing your life to one of the Howlers. Now go. Some heathen grown bold by these times.
Covering your face won't make the Grand Guard happy. That's the last time I give my coin to the Abbey. Your face is covered. Are you worried someone might recognize you?
I was thinking of heading to my uncle's farm near Sagunto. You can breathe there. I work at the processing plant, so unless you need whale guts, I can't help you.
So the others will not lose their
I
way.
will ask again today if this is truly her chosen path. I can only hope the outsider hasn't gotten to her first.
Don't mess with the Abbey. Stay in the neutral territory. Want to help us? Go put that sword in a Howler skull.
Stay on your side or you'll be spitting teeth. Far as I know, you might be an Overseer spy. Unless I hear you've taken down the Vice Overseer himself, stay out of Howler territory.
Cabello, are you sure you know what you're doing? I studied field tactics with Brother Cardoza in the peninsula. The pirate crews there resort to these same dirty tricks.
Seems like a good way to take a dart to the belly.
Well, the Howlers aren't known for their caution. But these aren't too hard to deal with. If you've got a steady hand, and you know what cables to cut, you've got to do it just right.
You stand accused of actions forbidden by the teachings of the Abbey of the Everyman. Given that each crime was witnessed or later verified by sworn and faithful overseers in good standing, no trial is required. For theft of food, for hindering a sworn overseer of the Abbey in his duties, death. For the keeping of articles of a heretical and fetishistic nature, for consuming the flesh of rats, death.
I faced worse than you, Abbey boys.
Silence, apostate!
Is someone
I'll help
there?
you search the place. The Vice Overseer hasn't shared his plans with me. He's upstairs now, so I assume we'll learn something before long.
I'd wager it'll all be over soon. I'm surprised it's taken us this long to deal with a mob of ruffians.
You know what the strictures say about wagering, brother? The Howlers are merciless, and Paolo carries the outsider's blessing. Some talisman comes straight from the jaws of the void itself. Keep that in mind, or you'll find yourself bleeding out in some alley.
Forgive me, Brother Mikos. You honor me. I wish there was another way, but it's a gut wound, as bad as any I've seen. Better this than a day or two of agony.
Then I go, and I keep the strictures close to my heart. May there be no discord in my spirit.
Goodbye, Overseer. Fade from this world.
Dozen Overseers have died trying to bring Paolo down. We've struck him fatal injuries, and somehow he comes back the next day to fight again. Whatever witchcraft he has, even the ancient music is ineffective.
I believe Paolo is in possession of some unclean artifact.
Burn.
It's my fear that he has to be killed twice in one day.
And the Duke won't help?
The Duke is no friend of ours. He exiled me from the Grand Palace, and he's done everything possible to push the Abbey of the Everyman out of Serkonos. The look on his face when he dismissed me from court. There's something wrong with people who live in palaces for too long.
Good riddance. Looky, looky. The Vice Overseer himself.
Goodbye, Vice Overseer. Follow in.
If you're working with us, good. But I still got my eye on you.
Keep taking out Overseers, and we'll warm up to you just fine. Not a bad piece of work you did for us. But stay out of my way.
I've been trying to bring Burn down for months. You did what others couldn't.
And now you own me, Paolo.
We've been at war with the Abbey, not just over territory, but over the people of Karnaca as well. This is my home. And I'm gonna send Burn to Dunwall without his hands, to explain things to the High Overseer and the Empress herself. Bet you didn't see this coming, Vice Overseer. No. What is it you want?
I need to get inside Aramis Stilton's house.
You're intriguing, and maybe more dangerous than most who darken my doorway.
I advise you to remember it.
Here's what you'll need to enter the house.
If you do have a hand in what comes next in Karnaca, I really hope you acquit yourself better than the Duke has.
You can count on that, friend. The Duke's a worthless buffoon. Get this guy out of here. The Duke, the Abbey, the Empress in Dunwall. None of them know what's best for Karnaca.
But you do.
Maybe you don't understand how things work down here. Things are changing. And if I have my way, I'll be guiding the course of the city for a long time to come.
That might be less fun than you imagine. Time is an odd thing. Growing up, I was excited about what the years might hold. About the empire I'd someday rule. I recall childhood moments, with my mother on her throne, and my father, a figure of mystery. I remember the rat plague, my mother's murder, and all that happened at the Hound Pits pub. Now this. I just want to put an end to Delilah's life, and get my father back. This house holds Delilah's secrets. She pulled herself up from tragedy, grabbing the Empire and changing it to her liking. With Duke Luca of Bell, she transformed a coddled dilettante into a schemer who helped her take my throne. She's made herself immortal, and even my father's sword couldn't stop her breath. I'm going to find out how she did these things. The next time someone shoves a sword through her heart, it'll be me, and I expect her to die. That's strange. I feel drained by this place. Stilton's sealed off from the rest of the district.
I don't belong here, insufferable.
Could that be Stilton? When no one keeps the rooms clean and dry, a house goes to rot.
Yo,
Aramis Stilton?
warm the quilts, will you? I feel...
3 years ago, something inside Aramis Stilton snapped like a cheap lock. A part of him and a part of this house never left that evening. The Duke's inner circle are still gathered here, setting their grand plan into motion. Delilah's plan. And a part of Aramis Stilton is always here, still breaking. The Void is not exactly a place, and it's much older and stranger than you could ever know. It watches you from within. And at the heart of Stilton's house, the Void is leaking through a pinprick left behind by Delilah's little trick. Even magic is perverted here, and things don't work like they should. Take this. Imagine it's a kind of timepiece. Go and watch the Duke and Delilah. See for yourself what they did.
Like it's going to be cold.
By the Void.
Guests are waiting in the study. The Duke is demanding refreshments.
The only way out of here is through the present, using this timepiece. Stilton's home was quite nice before whatever happened.
Somebody seen
Honestly,
something.
why does Stilton even bother trying to impress people like the Duke and that curator? He's better than they'll ever be.
If I only had a boat of my own. That's the life.
What will change in the present based on what I do here tonight?
There's something else you should know. The center of the manor is off limits tonight. Everything around the study.
What's so special about the center of the manor?
Nothing, usually. But the Duke and his party are here tonight, and they don't want to be disturbed. So that entire part of the house is under lockdown by the Grand Guard.
I'm not sure how to take your tone. I assure you, I rubbed shoulders with some of Karnaca's best people.
Trust me, you don't want to get tangled up with the Duke and his inner circle. I'm not sure how Mr. Stilton tolerates them, to be honest.
Stilton wasn't born to all this. Allegedly, he started as a miner.
Tonight, Duke of Bell and the others will drink my expensive whiskey and scheme. Jindosh will watch me like a cat with a half-chewed mouse. Ashworth will sneer about how conventional the rest of us are. Missing the obvious, she'll flirt for a while, then put me in my place. I'll sit on my anger, remembering what Theodanis meant to me. I'll tell myself I worked for this honor. I swung a pick in the mines, and now the fine folk are guests in my house. If they want to hold a seance, who am I to say it's nonsense? Whatever happens, I'll regret it. But afterward, Megan's coming by. Talking with her always sets me right.
Megan claims Stilton was a good man, at odds with the Duke.
Horses down here a week from now, full of bloodfly maggots. Are they that bad? We don't have anything like that in Morley. Trust me, they're that bad. And this year is the worst I've ever seen.
I wonder what I was doing in Dunwall on this night. Or what I am doing. The air feels almost electrified here. I need the combination to Stilton's study.
Or something. Maybe need a bone? Phew, seems weird. I'm not touching that. And, more old clothes.
Be sure to check all the pockets.
be easier if we could open the door and get closer. You sure the combination you saw doesn't work?
I got a glimpse of Stilton's notebook last month, but he must have changed the combination since then.
Damn. What are they doing?
Come on, someone could show up any minute.
Stop crying. For once something interesting is happening. If a bunch of drunk aristocrats are having an orgy, I don't want to miss it.
So disfigured, blood
The
flying.
Grand Guard was protecting Stilton back then. Vice Overseer Byrne, if only you could see this. You'd have nightmares.
Welcome again to my house. Let's get this over with.
What we're about to attempt has never been done. It's beyond my understanding, and certainly beyond yours. If anyone has any doubts, set them aside now.
This defies rational understanding. It's the frayed edge when natural philosophy crosses over into something else.
Yes, I can feel it. We risk madness.
The more I hear, the more I think this is ill-advised. Who wants to speak with the dead? If this Delilah really was killed or banished from the world, what if she's lost her mind?
Delilah's stronger than before. The Duke and I have heard her voice, whispering to us. And now it's time. So take your positions. Focus on the void behind the world. You can feel her power, can't you?
By the stars! This is more exciting than any orgy I've ever attended.
Wait! We can't really...
Idiot!
Returned from the cold, from forever.
How curious. It seems to have worked.
My spirit is safe now, inside this thing. Luca, you must lock it away.
I can still see the insides. One has become a stone, the other reforged and marked by the one whose eyes are black.
Poor Aramis. I feel obliged to take care of him out of loyalty to my father.
Wait. You are hidden, but I know who you are. I know when you are. You've come to watch me return, and someday I'll come for you.
The void beyond the world is strange. I won't ever understand all I've seen.
Look around you. A crumbling island at the very edges of the void. But this one is special. It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended, and where it began again. It's where they made me.
This part of the void feels older.
Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the wounds only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god. Now you know Delilah's secret. At the end of her days, she drifted through the void and should have been lost forever. But her will and cunning are second to none. She found this place, the island in the void where I became what I am. It changed her, and she discovered a way to draw from it, tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it. You have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away, inside a thing made of bones. She's made herself immortal. If you want to kill Delilah, you're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy, but what comes after that might be the hardest thing you will ever have to do.
The world contains more mysteries than I imagined. Now to meet up with Sokolov again at the skiff, after a very strange day.
It's like the Duke will keep taking, consuming, until someone puts an...
You're back. That was quick. So is Stilton. Maybe I don't even want to know. It's not right, what happened to Aramis. He deserved better. Another place full of bad memories. Let's go.
Are you ready to leave? The dust is wreaking havoc on my throat.
Yes, I paid a visit to Vice Overseer Byrne, and I've been to Stilton's house. We can go. Duke Luca Abel tore down the old palace in Karnaca and built himself a new one. A monument to his ego. Whether he knows it's coming or not, I'm here to make him pay for everything he's done. I'm going to show him what happens to those who turn traitor to the Empire. After tonight, the Duke will either be dead or deposed, depending on how this plays out. Whatever happens to Serkonos in the aftermath is his fault, not mine. I've got to get inside, take care of the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
Can feel it. This is my last night. Soon, I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You should be at peace.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon.
Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it. Are you ready for this?
I've been inside a dozen castles and 100 mansions, and they're the same everywhere. The Duke's palace can't be anything worse than Lady Brisby's social afternoons.
Killing off Duke Abel is only part of the puzzle. You've also got to find whatever it is he's keeping for Delilah.
You were cryptic about what you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery. But once you're inside the Grand Palace, whatever you do could affect things in Karnaca for years to come. Remember that.
Everyone who crosses my path on the way to Duke Abel is going to regret it. They all deserve to bleed.
At the palace, the Duke has a look-alike body double, meant to confuse assassins. A friend of mine washes the linens and said the double is a smoker, if that helps. Maybe you can talk to him. She says he's a nice guy. What a shitty job, pretending to be a tyrant like Duke Luca Abel.
It's remarkable that people tolerate the Duke.
He's got an army, control of the mines, and he's had your support from the capital. At the Duke's parties, people carve up the country while eating boiled crab.
There were parties like that in Dunwall, full of toadies sucking up to me, stabbing each other in the back.
Poor Empress. I could see those party lights from the roof of the abandoned butcher shop where I slept, in the flooded district.
I know you grew up hard, Megan. I used to wander Dunwall with my face hidden, but when I got tired of it, I could always go back to the tower. Karnaca's given me perspective.
Good. After you've eliminated the Duke, find what he's holding for Delilah and take it. When you're finished, I'll pick you up in the skiff. Sorry if I sound bitter. Don't turn your back on the Duke. After we leave Karnaca, I'll get you to Dunwall. But then I'm done. You won't hear from me again. I know not everyone who lives in a great palace is a snake. But it's real easy to get accustomed to eating off silver plates. If you figure out which one is the Duke's double, you might want to see what he knows. You wouldn't believe it, but I could have ended the Duke a long, long time ago. Wish I had now. If something happens and you don't make it back, I might have a go at Duke Abel. When this is done, we leave Karnaca at once. I won't be sorry to leave this city. I've done all I can here. I've earned what I've got, even the scars. Especially the scars. Take care of yourself. We'll be there when you're ready.
Stuff comes in. It's got to get where it's going. That's why they call it the black market. Can't just sit here. Too much chance a Grand Guard catches on to us, or maybe rightful owners coming to pick it up.
What's the delay getting it to the shop? Bet you afraid we'll get caught?
The guy that runs the shop is nervous. But if they just let us move it straight off the boat. Now, I got a friend over at the shop. Been running protection for black market shops for years here in Karnaca and over at Corvo. So there's basically no risk.
What's your friend's name?
That's a secret. These guys deal with me and nobody else. Job security.
Hello there. You find yourself in the most reputable safe shop in Karnaca. I'm not supposed to say so, but the Duke's cousin got his safes here. Who needs more than one safe, you might wonder? Well, in this world, either you don't need a safe, or you need several. That's how it is.
We should talk to the magistrate, see if she can help. If you want advice, put your money in shipping. That's where my family made its fortune. No need to cover your face. I'm bad with names and faces anyway. Let's ask the land agent to re-inspect the riverside drains.
With no shoes, he fell to their hands to cage and abuse. And lo, in the murder darkness, and lo, his name destroyed. And lo, he still whispers in silence.
Greetings. I serve with discretion.
Hey, open up. I cut the code, but it's back on the boat.
No exceptions. Either you have the code, or I assume something's off. My boss's orders.
Damn, open this door.
You know I won't do this. You're wasting time.
Just got the answer about my transfer inlet. Relocation denied.
Look on the bright side. The pay is better here than anywhere else, and we get to do the job how we see fit. Nobody's pestering us with forms and procedures anymore. We collect the fees we want and give out the beatings when they're needed.
I just don't want my kids growing up here. It's too dangerous.
Then reapply next month. The command staff changes constantly. New officers, new rules. And spread a few coins here and there among the officers.
I miss swimming. That was good, you know. Some of us used to give lessons at Adamire, back when it was open to the public. Open city in those days.
Didn't know that. Man, you sure had a lot of different jobs.
Guess so. I don't miss brining hagfish. Hands in salt all day, nails bleeding, choking on the factory air.
At least when you joined the Grand Guard, you got a really soft position near the palace.
You might change your mind about that after you've been here a while. Sometimes the Duke's friends do some strange shit.
Really? Like what?
One night, someone up there decided it'd be funny to throw down food at us. I got hit in the face with a pineapple. Then a whole roasted pig came down and split the boat in half. It was raining apples and meat pies. All sorts of nice food floating around in the water.
Damn, with people in the city starving. Life's just not the same when you live up there, is it?
Get ready to pay, Duke of Bell.
Do you know who's assigned to protect the Duke's quarters tonight?
Nope. As long as it's not me, I don't care. It's never any fun.
I'm not sure who's worse, the Duke or his body double. One's half likely to have you flogged for looking at him wrong. The other might just bore you to death.
It must be nice to be on the Duke's payroll. It seems the Duke has some of the Jindosh Clockwork soldiers.
Dust.
This must be the key to the Duke's vault.
When I first met with my inner circle, I saw nervous faces. Even the boldest were afraid, wondering if we'd live to see another feast. Now Serkonis is ascendant, but this is a story that began long years before. I knew Delilah when I was only a boy, and even after she was lost, dead, and gone from the world, her memory burned in my mind. Until finally I began to hear her whispering, calling to me from the void. Telling her story of growing up in Dunwall Tower and the half-sister who cheated her of her throne. Then she told me there was a way to bring her home. Delilah. Beautiful. Immortal.
What would you do if you were the Duchess of Serkonos or some other ruler? The Queen of Morley or even the Empress?
More of what I already do. Screwing, eating fine meals, smoking the best haberweed. And when I wasn't doing that, I'd be buying exotic furniture from Tivia, having my apartments redecorated.
So you wouldn't really change much?
No, of course not. What's the point of having power if you can't just do whatever you want?
This must be the Duke's vault. Let's see what Duke of Bell keeps hidden away in here.
Extra diagnostic.
Delilah Copperspoon.
I could spend hours just looking across the bay.
You won't see any whales this far south. They like the colder, deeper water.
We get a few, but not today. Besides, I'm more interested in the occasional boat, or maybe catching a glimpse of something going on at Addermire.
This is the life, isn't it? Being a friend of the Duke's has its advantages.
My mother's old money. So, to tell you the truth, it's the only life I've known.
What a twisted situation. If it was me, if I was infested with bloodfly larvae, I'd probably kill myself.
Wait, I don't like that. Better have a look.
I wonder who that was.
How hard can it be to clean a few things? Honestly, why do I pay for a house full of servants when they don't do anything? The impertinence! No one says no to me. Not if they expect to be paid, that's for certain. That silver pipe he was smoking the other night, it made him tremendously more attractive.
No offer to bow or kiss my hand.
I could say the same.
A mystery. Let's have it then. Who are you and what do you want?
Listen, I think you're the Duke's body double. You can't have any love for the man. I'm here to end his rule, and I have an idea you should hear.
All right, you've figured it out. But if you're not here to assassinate the Duke, what do you want?
It occurs to me that you might make a more agreeable Duke than Luca Abel. If I wanted to depose him without having to slit his throat, do you think you could convince people that you're the Duke?
That's bold. I have to admit it's crossed my mind. If people believed that I was actually Duke Abel, and that he was the political decoy, we could have him committed for lunacy. We could convince everyone that the Double's finally lost his mind and believes he's the Duke. I've spent years perfecting my performance. But there's a catch. He's got a medallion that I need. Even if I sound convincing, which should be the easy part, his Grand Guard officers will ask to see the medallion as proof. Luca never puts it aside.
All right. It shouldn't take me long. Once it's done, I'll be leaving the city. Soon after, I'll send instructions from Dunwall, and I'll expect a great deal of flexibility and cooperation on your part. There's still time to pull Serkonos back from the edge of the cliff. We can undo the damage Duke Abel has inflicted.
I'd like that. But I'll guide Serkonos in the ways I see fit for the people here, not as the hand-chosen puppet of your empire. If you agree with that, just render the Duke unconscious and bring him to his chambers. I'll handle the rest. Don't raise an alarm. You've got to keep things calm for this to work. Honestly, if you would have killed Luca, the Grand Guard probably would have hung me anyway. There's so much that could be done from this palace. So many things that could be better. I never thought this would happen. It's exciting. But remember, to make this work, you've got to be stealthy. Get the Duke, bring him to his room, and be careful about it. Don't raise a ruckus. That's it then. Now it's up to me. I'll take the medallion and call them.
I'll be watching. Break a leg.
Don't worry. I've spent years mimicking this asshole. Captain Almeida, come at once to my chambers. There's a problem. Quick, hide up there. Yes, Captain. Please arrest this clown. It seems he's taken his role a little too seriously. Get your hands off me! This moonstruck idiot is lost in a nightmare. Take him away, Captain, and cut his tongue from his head. He'll not sully my name.
Yes, Your Eminence. We'll handle it.
What? This is outrageous. I'll have you all skinned alive and set in a salt bath. All those years pretending he was me. That must have taken a toll on his spirit. Now he's a danger to me and Serkonos. No! Stop! I am the Duke of Serkonos! You can't do this!
Dr. Hypatia at Adamire will know what to do with the poor man.
I'm still trying to get my head around this. It's incredible. It'll be dicey for a while because I may be missing a few details. As quickly as I can, I'll turn over the palace guard. That will help cover me. Once you're off for Dunwall, I'll wait for your messages. I'll need all the help I can get turning this around.
Who's fooling around?
Kieran, sir. We were confused by your most recent response. The Duke was, well, he was furious. He sent me to interview you about your progress.
One of the maids took me for a walk. We dug beetles in the park with shiny green shells.
I don't understand, Mr. Jindosh. Working with Anton Sokolov, were you successful at lowering the cost of Clockwork Soldier production? The Duke is expecting a reduction of 80 to 90%, based on your own estimates.
She let me keep a few of them in a jar. I pulled off their legs.
That's interesting. Let me remind you, as Grand Inventor, you've been given everything you requested. But with that comes a responsibility for deadlines, and expectations
indication of progress?
Wait, I remember the undertaking you're talking about now. Yes, yes.
Excellent. So what can I tell the Duke?
I had a visitor, I think. Or maybe they came for Sokolov. It's hard to recall the details. Anton wouldn't help, but I was close to finding a way to... The difference engine is inscribed in copper along the concave surface of the inner head mechanism. But wait. I can't. It slips away. The beetles we found today, I'm going to give them all names.
This is useless. What am I going to tell Duke Luca?
Uncertainty.
This is the thing Ashworth made to hold Delilah's spirit.
This is it. Release me from this dead vessel, free of this poisoned world, and trap Delilah's spirit.
Do it. You were all I ever wanted.
Let me go. I've seen too much of this world. There is blood on our hands.
I did it for you. To keep your throne. For your legacy.
My daughter, you are becoming everything I fought against. I love you, but let me go.
So it's done. Now to take Delilah's soul back to Dunwall.
The heart of my half-sister? Only her flesh remains.
Maybe Delilah's spirit was holding it together.
So, is that it? The fall of Karnaca?
From now on, the Duke will be guided by better stars.
Back to the dreadful whale, then, and on toward Dunwall.
Yes, at long last. To take back the throne, and find a way to save my father.
Ready, then?
Take me back to the ship.
All right. As you want.
My life story changed when an assassin named Dowd drove a sword through my mother's chest. Now I'm coming home with the same purpose in mind. Was this what Dowd felt? Planning the approach, wondering how it would feel to kill an empress? Whatever grand scheme you've got underway now, Delilah, you were smart when you stole this place from me. You knew who among my people to corrupt, and you took away my strongest ally, my father. But you didn't know me. You only saw a sheltered princess. You never thought I'd fight back. You don't know me, Delilah. But you will.
I left it. Now that we're here, I suppose you know where to go and what to do. You've killed a legion, so what's one more?
If anyone deserves it, it's Delilah. She's got so much to answer for.
At my age, I've come to distrust words like deserve. As I've told you, I knew her long ago. Badly wounded, deep at her center, but cunning, and looking for a way to pull herself up. Perhaps more than anything, Delilah had a talent for imagining the world as a better place. If only that could have been channeled towards something less twisted.
It's probably too late to dwell on regrets.
Everyone feels some regret, atop a long line. Mine is now chiefly that I'm out of time. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye, Anton.
Megan is waiting for you on the deck outside. She seemed cagey earlier, even more than usual. I suppose you did the best you could. Or I'll let myself believe that, at least. Good luck with Delilah. I fear for the Empire if you fail. Remember, the people of the city might have endured a great deal since you were driven from Dunwall. Desperate times. I've got maybe one more chapter left in my own tale. Hopefully a chapter set next to a roaring fire in Tivia. Toppling the Duke must give you a sense of peace. Maybe a better day will be born of it. It would be interesting to study why the bloodflies have never taken hold here. Time. If I only had more time. Goodbye, Emily. I suspect I'll not see you again. I'm still aboard this creaking thing that Megan calls a boat. Anton Sokolov, once the designer of mighty ships, thrown against the malevolent ocean and large enough to heave the great leviathans aboard, thrashing and spilling their life's blood across the decks. Majestic ships, swift with luxurious cabins, fit for an empress. Where are those vessels now? They're far too important to carry an old man like me. I've been abandoned by my own creations. But maybe that's the way it should be. Haven't I been cruel, selfish? Perhaps I should be forgotten, consigned to the junk heap. Maybe I should die at last. And there's a chance I will on this final escapade. To Dunwall, then. We'll see what's left of me.
Megan, I'm taking the skiff. I want to go to Dunwall Tower alone.
All right. Do you know how you're going to kill Delilah? If you leave her alive, she'll come for you sooner or later.
I'll do whatever's necessary. No one takes what's mine.
Just make sure you don't hesitate. Delilah's dangerous.
You don't have to worry about that.
No one will ever know exactly what it took to save Emily Kaldwin from a living death as Delilah's puppet. No one except the outsider, who watches everything and thinks his own dark thoughts and speaks to few in any generation. I've learned that our choices always matter. To someone. Somewhere. And sooner or later, in ways we can't always fathom, the consequences come back to us. I came from Serkonos to Dunwall as a boy. Made my living as a killer. One of the few who've heard the outsider's voice. I murdered an empress, but saved her daughter, who will one day rule the Empire. Those were my choices. I'm ready for what comes.
She's gone.
Take me to Dunwall Tower. Bring me back to the cage in my own chest.
Oh, I will. Delilah will be made mortal again.
You let your mother slip into oblivion. Do you know where my mother's resting? In a child's coffin, her skinny legs tucked beneath her, because I couldn't afford proper burial, while my father rests in the Imperial crypt.
You're lying.
You still can't accept it, little girl. Your father was born a nobody. I inhabit your mother's heart, and my body walks the halls of your crumbling palace and sleeps between your sheets.
If I learned anything in Karnaca, it's that you only deserve to keep your throne if you're ready to roll out a red carpet of blood before it. We'll be face to face soon, and I'll end you, Delilah.
Your Majesty, you're alive. It's been almost 2 months, hasn't it?
I've been down in Karnaca trying to figure out how all this happened, with Delilah and the Duke of Serkonos.
And were you successful? Things are a mess here.
I know how to beat Delilah now. I'm going to retake my throne and find a way to help my father.
That's the best news I've heard in a long while. You'll have my support. Whatever you need, just ask.
Once it's safe, just tell the public what happened. If I come out on top, I'll invite you to Dunwall Tower to conduct an interview.
Good luck at Dunwall Tower. The people of the district have fled. Everyone's afraid of Delilah and her followers. Whatever comes next will be written down in the history of the Empire, assuming we've still got an empire come tomorrow.
Welcome home, Your Majesty. Delilah's been waiting for you, with murder in her heart, but also fear. She tore her spirit apart to avoid the sting of death. And now, her nightmare is coming for her. And it's you. Moving through Karnaca, you left a trail of corpses at your back. But in Dunwall, Delilah has amassed her own pile of bodies. All hail the Empress, assuming there are any subjects left to rule.
I never thought I'd be trying to infiltrate the tower to kill an Empress.
You! Come talk to me. Look at all. I saw the High Overseer fall. All is lost. Leave this place.
The Abbey assaulted the tower?
Somehow we were overcome. Not just Delilah's sorcerers and their gravehounds, but mechanical men. Automated soldiers. And the ancient music was useless against them.
Rest now. But know that I'm going to end Delilah's reign. I swear it.
At death's door, I smell the corruption of the void upon you. A heretic against a heretic. Laughable. The world is doomed. I've done what I could. Served the Abbey the best I was able. The strictures are written across my heart. I wish I could have protected the High Overseer.
Makes it easier to collect. Less messy. You can still smell it.
How much of the algae does Our Lady Delilah want? And what's it for? Tell me. I won't let the secret slip.
She just needs a bit. And if you promise to keep your tongue in your head, I'll tell you. It's part of her new undertaking. A painting to end old paintings, she says. Some great new magics she's concocting.
After taking Dunwall Tower itself, what more could our mistress want?
Delilah wants the whole world's love. The seas around it and the stars above it. But a few days ago, she was spending all of her time in that bleak little overseer chapel. What's afoot? What's she working on?
She probably found it funny, using the chapel as a store. Mixing pigments where those fools used to preach their nonsense. But she moved to the throne room when she was ready to start her new paint.
Always exciting when she starts to sculpt or paint.
If Delilah's in the throne room, I can use the elevator to reach her. To restore power to the elevator, I'll have to reach the security room. The High Overseer.
So here we are, where my dear lying half-sister Jessamine and I played as children. Where your mother bedded your father, then gave birth to you. Where she was murdered by Dowd and his black-hearted crew. The place that ruined both our lives.
You have a twisted view of the world, and I have no idea whether you're telling the truth or not. But it doesn't matter.
I adore the sound they make hitting bottom. So delicate, so fine.
The old woman we pushed off the roof cared more about these dishes than she did her own rotten bones. She begged us not to break anything else.
Oh, please, not that one. It's over 100 years old.
No, no. That belonged to Emperor Euhorn Jacob Kaldwin. It was a wedding gift.
The older it is, the more exciting to smash, I say.
Yes. Why is that, I wonder? Another mystery.
I thought you, of all people, would understand. Those nights as a girl in the Hound Pit's pub. Didn't you dream of getting this crown back? It was stolen from me first. Even before you came into the world.
There's suffering across the face of the world, but I was born under rare stars. I know I'm far luckier than most, Delilah. None of that excuses the destruction in your wake. Delilah's working on something terrible, but I might be able to sabotage it.
It worked. I painted the chapel, but added a tree to the painting. After arranging the runes across the chair, both pure and corrupted, I was able to transpose the chapel made of paint with the one made of stone. With more runes, I should be able to do the same to all the Empire. This will be my greatest undertaking, transposing my painting. The world as it should be, with this wretched dung heap we're all born into. At last, all will be made proper and good.
By crafting more corrupt runes, I could disrupt Delilah's painting.
Mary Kate, what's this then? Did you grow up in the country, dear? Out in the sticks? It's an audiograph machine. But what's it for? It enables important people to record their voices. A prince's order for war, a matron's business instructions, or a lover's hungry words dripping with honey. Even the final thoughts of one lost in despair before jumping from a bridge.
So now my voice will live on, even after I'm dead and gone.
It makes me furious seeing the tower like this.
Whoever you are, your quarrel isn't with me. Please don't tell anyone I'm here. I've been in here keeping quiet since this all happened.
Your secret's safe with me. What have you seen or heard?
After the coup, there was more fighting between the Duke's traitors and the members of the Watch still loyal to the old Empress. Then there was a party for Delilah, just before the Duke returned to Serkonis. At some point, the Overseers staged an assault, but it went badly.
Anything else?
Apparently, Delilah's been working in the Abbey Chapel, preparing something. If you're crazy enough to want to find her, look there, or in the throne room. She and the Duke were talking about a painting.
Take care of yourself. My hope is that you won't have to hide much longer.
I hope you're right. 3 of us hid here. Genevieve got caught, then Morgan. Now it's just me. I told her once, I told her 1,000 times. It ain't my job to check on the grinders. Sometimes I think she's deaf, on purpose. Good luck with whatever you're going to try. If you don't succeed, I'll wait a couple of days, then try to leave in the early morning. Oh, I'd give anything to have things back the way they were, before Delilah showed up and everything went to shit.
What has Delilah done to my throne?
see how I will reshape all things.
So this is the world she dreams about.
Come out, wherever you are.
If I put Delilah on the throne, the painting should trap her in her own fantasy world. You wanted to rule a world of your own, Delilah. So be it.
At last, what I've always deserved. My justice. Now what's always been marred and distorted will be perfect. I've waited so long. Sing my songs and lick my flesh. Worship me!
What happened?
Let's sit down. I'll explain it all.
And so the Duke fell, and in his place arose a figure from the underworld. Paolo had come into the world with nothing, but was determined to leave it a very rich man. Sometimes power shouts, and sometimes it whispers. In Dunwall, without ever realizing it, Delilah was trapped in an imagined world where her father's lies were undone and her subjects would bow to her forever, as she sailed into war with a great armada and trekked across the Pentisian wastes. While in the true capital, Emily the Vengeful rooted out the last of those who had betrayed her and ruled over her empire with Corvo by her side. In his day, Anton Sokolov lit the fires of industry, starting a great consuming blaze at the heart of the empire. He saw his machines used for war and oppression, watching the powerful crush those beneath them. Leaving Dunwall for the last time, he turned to the cold north, his energy spent at last, only an echo of the man he'd aspired to be. There are things that never change, no matter how hard you try. Questions you must answer. As Megan Foster faded from the world, Billy Lurk stepped from her shadow, setting out to discover her truest self, and seeking the closest thing she'd ever known to family.